Welcome everybody to the tutorial Text Recognition with LearningML and Scratch. LearningML is a web platform for teaching and learning about machine learning and is designed in the context of the Erasmus Plus project FIAS. In this tutorial, we will look at how to use the programming platform. Today we will design a virtual assistant that will turn the lights on or off for us. To do this, we will use the AI model created in the previous tutorial. If you haven't seen that one, you can find the link in the description. In that tutorial, we used LearningML to create an AI model that is trained to classify text into two classes. I want the light to be switched on, or I want the light to be switched off. To create this program, we will use our programming platform, which is a modification of Scratch, a free block-based visual programming language primarily intended to use as an educational tool. So we start by navigating to the LearningML platform. So last time I saved the project to my account, so I can now easily retrieve it by going to my things and loading the projects. So this way I don't need to create the classes again and add all the training examples, they're already there. You can also upload projects that are saved on your computer. So let's train the model. And once it has trained, let's go to the programming platform by clicking on the Scratch icon. Okay, so we're now in the Scratch programming platform to which we have added our own blocks. So today we will work with the LearningML text blocks. So let's try it. So what did we want to do? Well, we want to have a virtual assistant. Let's add a costume for a virtual assistant. So let's search for robot. Let's pick the retro one. Has it been added? Yes. And let's remove the two others. Let's add some code for our robot. So we want to have a nice robot, so it should talk to us. Hi there. I am your assistant. And then it should ask us what we want him to do. And we can find this in the light blue colored blocks. So he asks us a question. How can I help you? And let's also add an event to start this sequence of blocks. Okay, so let's click on the flag. And our robot says, asks how can I help you, and a prompt appears. So let me write there lights off, and nothing happens. That is because we're not telling the robot to do something with that answer. So let's add that. So we have here the block answer. So that is what that is our input. So for now, let's start with something easy. Let him just repeat the answer. This, and let's try again. So the prompt appears, lights off, and he just repeats our answer. Okay, but we don't want him just to repeat the answer. We want him to understand what we want. So let's use our AI model. And we have a block that says classify text. So it takes a parameter text. So that is our input, our answer. So let's move answer there. And let him repeat this. So, lights off. And now he repeats switch off. So the predicted label for our input is switched off, and our robot has repeated that prediction, that label. Okay, so, but that's not everything. We also want him to do something. So let's add a backdrop. So he can actually switch a light off and on. So let's find one. Let's take a bedroom. This one. Let's move our robot a bit here. Okay. Let's go back to the backdrop. Let's give it a name. So this is the one where we have the lights on. And then we have another one. Let's rename this as lights off, and let's hack it a bit. So let's add a rectangle here. I'm a bit clumsy, like this, and let's make it dark, and let's call this lights off. So let's add some code for our backdrops. So let's think of it first. So what needs to happen is the following. So when the robot receives an order, it should send a message to the current backdrop to change. If the message is switch on, the current backdrop should change to the lights on backdrop, and otherwise when it receives switch off, the current backdrop should change to the lights off backdrop. So how are we going to do that? Well, we have other blocks for that. So we have event blocks. When I receive a message, so we're now adding code to the backdrop. So let's add a new type of message. The first one, switch on. And we have a second message. We have two types of message. One is switch on, the other one is switch off. So we have two messages. What do we need to do? We need to change the backdrop. So we need to change the looks. So that's in the purple blocks. So what needs to happen here? Well, when the message is switch on, the backdrop should change to the lights on backdrop. When the message is switch off, the backdrop should change to the lights off backdrop. Okay, so that's the code for our backdrop. Let's now go back to our robot. So let's run the program just once more, see if what happens. So off, let's be really short now. Switch off, so nothing has changed because the backdrops, they haven't received any message. So the robot needs to broadcast the message. And for this, we have other event blocks. So the robot needs to broadcast the message it has just received. So let's add another classified text together with the answer. So now it will just repeat, it will say what it will do, and then it will broadcast that message such that the backdrops, the current backdrop will change. So hi there, I'm your assistant. So lights off, switch off, and the backdrop has changed and the lights are off. So let's switch them back on. So switch on. And the light is back. So this is just a very simple illustration of how you can use the AI models within Scratch. Other examples can be found on the LearningML webpage and our FIAS project page. See you in a next tutorial.